Let's get started with some counting.
Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This time the second episode of Clash Academy. You guys know what's the drill. You guys know what's better than gems. Fucking no. Teach you guys how to count Elixir.
But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had installed.
So counting Elixir, the mythical ability of counting mana, is actually not that difficult. A lot of people think that counting Elixir is actually literally counting Elixir. We're just counting on the fingers of hands, like, you know. Don't do that shit, boys. I guess you can do that while you put on a dunce cap, because it really doesn't make sense. You're gonna be sexually confused within the middle of the game, because there's so many things going on, especially in top level play where you have to predict, you have to keep track of cycles and so forth. The counting Elixir, literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, is not gonna be beneficial for you in the long run. Meanwhile, there's multiple little tricks that you can use to help you count Elixir throughout the game. Doctors will hate you, trust me. The thing is, counting Elixir is more of an innate ability that's gonna come out you, that's gonna rise out of you. You're gonna learn this art of counting Elixir throughout multiple games. And really, there's a few tricks that can help you, but really it's based off of just getting a feel for your deck, getting a feel for your opponent, and how they play. But anyways, let's just get into the few like tricks that you need to know to sort of like make sure how much Elixir your opponent has. And before we get into actually how to count Elixir, let's talk about why it's good for you and beneficial for you to actually understand how much Elixir your opponent has. So a lot of times you really want to investigate how much Elixir your opponent has. Say they have a golem push coming at you. Do you want to focus all of your Elixir on defending, or do you want to focus all of your Elixir on doing a split push with your hog on the other side? If you're Elixir negative, you don't want to do the split push with the hog on the opposite side, because then you're just going to get mowed down and bodied by the Papa Golem push. So the thing is, counting Elixir is a big trait inside this game. Not only does it help you predict your enemy moves, it helps you organize your pushes and see what allow you to be able to tell what is able to be penetrated. You can tell how much Elixir they have to defend with, whether or not you can attack or not, whether or not you can defend. And it really just controls the pace of the game and how much Elixir you have. And that's a big skill you need to be able to understand, to see how much Elixir your opponent has. So you're gonna feel it out, feel the force within the arena, or so, the ridiculous ass duel. So basically, the 3 things that you have to look out for is basically wait until you see how much Elixir until they drop something. Usually, especially within the beginning of the game where they're feeling out your opponent is going to drop something only when they reach 10 Elixir. And this will vary deck by deck, but especially in bigger, heavier decks, such as like Royal Giant, not even bigger, heavier decks, like things that they don't have, they don't want to be able to constantly throwing out shit at you, like things such as Spellbait. They're not gonna wait till 10 most of the time to drop a troop. They're gonna constantly be pressuring you. Or things such as like a Hog Rider deck, they're gonna be constantly they're not gonna wait until they're at 10 Elixir. You're gonna have to figure out whether or not their deck is the type of deck where that they're gonna want to sit back more of the times and just drop troops in the back. And usually people are gonna drop troops once they hit 10 Elixir in the back. So if they drop a Musketeer in the back, you're gonna know they have 10 Elixir. They just use 4 Elixir, so now they have 6 Elixir. That's a good way to figure out. That's very simple and really easy to do in the back of your head. Another way to do it, which is a bit harder, is using it relative to your pushes and relative to your attacks. So you always want to start out doing this in the beginning. You never want to start counting Elixir from the middle, because then you're going to be confused. Because really, counting Elixir is an addition and subtraction game. So if you drop 4 Elixir for a Musketeer, you're going to drop 3 Elixir for a Goblin Gang. It's going to be -1. You always want to look at the Elixir trades, not the actual Elixir that they drop. If they're going to drop a Goblin Gang, don't count the 3 Elixir that they use. Count the Elixir that they use to defend your troops. Like, you drop 4 Elixir, they drop 3 Elixir, you drop 2 Elixir, you drop 5 Elixir. Don't actually count how many Elixir you use, and he used, and you use, and he used. Count how much Elixir that has been traded off. So that's -1 trade in net total that he lost. That's a -5 trade that he lost in total. Oh, now you gain 5 more Elixir in total. And now say like he gained 5 Elixir. You always want to count how much elixir that's traded, the net positive or net negative that's gained from certain exchanges in elixir. You don't want to actually count how much elixir is spent in every single drop. So like that, you want to start from the beginning. You can't really do that at the middle of a game, because then you don't really know how many troops you dropped and how many troops you dropped beforehand, and it gets really confusing of how much elixir. So you always want to start from the beginning and count elixir from that. So like, say you drop 5 elixir for Musketeer, you drop 3 elixir for Goblin Gang, and I mean 4 elixir for Musketeer, 3 elixir Goblin Gang. You know what, this is -1 trade, and you keep on going from there, and then at the end of the day, you're just gonna compare how much elixir you have, and you know that he has -3 elixir compared to you. So then, say you have 5 elixir, you know he's at a 2 elixir deficit, then you know that he has 3 elixir. So that's very important. You want to figure out how much elixir he has relative to you. You never really want to like grab numbers straight from the air, because there's so many numbers, there's so many cards that's being played, especially in double elixir time. It's hard to manage every single card that's being played. So that's a big thing. Figuring out how much elixir he has relative to you. And the third thing is figuring out how much elixir he has based on the plays he make, and how much elixir he has on the board. Say he has like a bowler and a baby dragon on the board, he has 9 elixir on the board. He probably won't have that much elixir on the board. Go figure. No shit, Sherlock. But the thing is, if he has a lot of troops on the field, he probably won't have a lot of elixir to go forth, especially if you feel like you have the momentum, you have the ability. You want to feel like who has the momentum inside the game. If he's constantly coming at you with the hog pushes and is being able to defend, you're gonna know that he has an elixir positive trade against you constantly, and you have to be able to figure out how to gain yourself some elixir positive trade so that you can have more elixir than your opponent. If he is constantly sitting back defending, like he's not dropping a bunch of shit at you, he's not playing aggressively, you know that he probably does not have that much elixir, and he's probably scrambling to defend. And he drops, like, if you drop a hog at him and it takes him like 3 seconds to drop like a mini P.E.K.K.A, that means you know that he didn't even have that much elixir to drop a mini P.E.K.K.A, and that you're definitely in the elixir positive, that you have more elixir than him. So all in total, the 3 tricks to help you figure out how much elixir you have is basing it on when they drop their cards. Usually they drop their cards when they have 10 elixir, and you can figure out from there. The second trick is that figuring out their elixir relative to you, and figuring out their elixir in positive or negative net trades, not in individual cards that they drop. You don't want to count that. And the third thing is considering who has the momentum, who's making the moves, and based on that, if they don't have enough elixir to drop certain things, if they're not playing aggressively or so forth, they probably don't have enough elixir. So figuring out your opponent's elixir based off of their momentum inside the game. And those are the 3 tricks that really help you figure out how much elixir your opponent has. And like I said, figuring out elixir and counting elixir is a huge part of competitive play, and it'll help you out in so many cases. You get to body opponents, you get to fucking like do some mind reader shit with them, like confuse them the shit out of them. So you guys learn the 3 tips and tricks from the Art of War straight from Sun Tzu. Really, at the end of the day, it's really getting a feel of the game, and it really does come naturally at a certain point. You really have to be familiar with your deck and pretty much every single meta deck within the game, and you get a feel of like multiple decks and how they interact and how they play. And really, counting elixir just come naturally with the addition of those 3 tips and tricks that you guys just learned. Whenever I see someone that knows how to count elixir, I get sort of wet. It's pretty hot, if you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, guys, comment down below what you guys want for the next Clash Academy video. I can do something like how to figure out your opponent's cycle, how to control your opponent's cycle, how to control your own cycle, shit like that. Tell me, guys, what tech you guys want to learn. Tech! Yeah, boys, we love tech over here. Tech is the shit. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. You guys, hopefully you guys learned how to count elixir. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, boy.